Okay. Is this not enough? No. Oh, it's just a loop. Just satisfying. Yeah. All right, guys. Clear, set, march. Ready to go. Do I have to fart? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Full Circus. My name is Tristan Sartoris. So happy to be here with you guys today. I don't know your names, but that's okay. It's not important. Not that you're not important, but it's all about making a good impression. I got to focus on me. You know how they say always focus on yourself because most people are focusing on themselves, so don't even worry about, however you're perceived or your perception or how your appearance may affect other people. People are so self-consumed, and that's how I feel because you guys are probably worried about yourself that you're not even paying attention. Although you did click on the podcast, so who knows? Point is, guys, I've dissected the rules and the laws of interaction, and I've landed on the fact that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what our names are, because in the middle of shaking hands and making sure we have strong eye contact, it's all about the connection, right? Names, meaning, job, career, purpose, doesn't matter. This right now, this is what's important, guys. And let me tell you, eyes to eyes, baby. Unless you're closing yours, I'm happy to be here with you. So listen to that. Ride those sound waves and let's have ourselves a good time. I'm in a good mood, all right? Not that I'm usually not, all right? This isn't unusual territory for me. What is this? What am I? I'm suddenly happy or joyful, feeling exuberance. No. This is where I like to live, but I'm back in an elevated state of realizing just how fortunate I am by the grace of God. Lord, I thank you because things just always work out for me. And I don't mean that as a point of pride or to brag and be, hey guys, look, I'm God's favorite, even if it's true. I just cramp, leg cramp, ouch. Ouch! Oh! Oh my gosh! Oh! Ouch! Oh, was that a crazy sign? What just happened? God, I was like, hey, I'm God's favorite. Things always work out for me. And my leg just feel like someone was sawing it off with a freaking spiritual hatchet. So anyways, let me test it again. Lord, I'm your favorite. So, anyways, it's not a point of pride. However, I can acknowledge that I've been very fortunate, and I'm so grateful. And the reason I'm saying that is because my laptop lives, guys. It lives. If you saw the last episode, I dumped a gallon of milk into it. Admittedly, it's still very sticky with the residue of 1%. But later in that night, as I was sitting there crying myself to sleep, realizing I wasn't the chosen one, what do I hear but the bum little apple symbol? And yes, dude. Thank you, Jesus. It turned right back on, and everything was saved. All of my data, it was all there, and things just work out for me. But again, not a point of pride. It's just I must have made a sweet deal in my past life with a leprechaun, and I've just got all the pots of gold and all the 4-leaf clovers, dude. So I'm very thrilled about it. I'm so grateful. Man, it's so nice to have, it's just thousands of dollars down the drain, and you start just succumbing to the fact it's over. You know when you just give up? You ever just given up and you realize there's no point in trying anymore, let me just punt. But then you punt, and then the other team fumbles it, and you get the ball, and you run in for a touchdown. Okay? If that doesn't make a lot of sense, just know it's a very good thing because a lot of good things happen to me. Anyways, guys, I don't mean to be arrogant. I hope that never comes off as arrogant because I'm not, okay? Now I have a lot of ego, okay? So much so that sometimes it's hard to fit my head in this hat. But I hope that doesn't come off as arrogant. You know what I do? I do this shtick, this whole I'm better than everyone. I do that bit because I'm a younger sibling. And those are the rules of life, man. You just, as a younger sibling, your only objective is to make your older siblings upset, okay? Because they pick on you, and then they belittle you, and they tell you you're no good. So what better way to get back at them than to say, not only am I against the fact that you think I'm no good, but I'm actually the best. And I live to make them go, oh my gosh, shut up. And that's the laws of nature, guys. So I carry that persona out with me a lot of times outside of my family dynamic. I've gotten headshots and photos, and and people are just like, hey, this looks good, and I do this, oh, you guys gonna put these up on the wall, and we get tattoos hanging above the door, because you guys know when I come walking in, and they're like, you're so full of it, and I go, I know. So I gotta make sure I dial it back, but it's fun, dude. It's a fun little it's a younger sibling shtick. The younger siblings out there, you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, we live to make sure that they know we can't be beaten. All right, I'm overcorrecting. It's not only standing tall in the face of adversity, but I'm saying you can't hurt me. Now, sure enough, they were much bigger than me growing up, and they did hurt me. But you know what? Verbally, mentally, egotistically, we stand strong, baby. We stand strong. So what's going on in the news? Not much, dude. I saw, okay, this is a big deal to me as a big God of War fan. This isn't actually, there's nothing to really dissect here. But as I was clicking on the news right before I started this podcast, there was a little headline. It said, "New God of War?" ? Sweat, chills of excitement, dude. I clicked on it, but there was nothing there. I read through about 2 pages worth of text for someone to say, I hope there's a new God of War. Golly, man, what a tease. There should be something in the headline that says, by the way, don't have any evidence. This is all speculation. We're running on hope. I was pretty upset by that because I got so excited, dude. You ever have something you're so passionate about and you anticipate with such desire, and then there's a little snippet, a little bit of light, and you go, could that be? Maybe. But it ain't, and you think, oh, could he or she be the one? Maybe. No, it's not. And there's no God of War yet. However, there was somebody that just tweeted. Somebody had visited the game studio that develops and makes the God of War games. Someone's like, hey, did you get any insider info? And she just tweeted out some shapes with a laughing face. So if we have any geometry bros, feel free to dissect that and let me know what that could be. But outside of that, we have no evidence. And I'm upset, but also not. You know what? Not to spoil these games any further, but I love them so much, and I want to see new ones. Like in a weird sense, it's like, when you have the perfect child, like you've had multiple children, and you finally have the perfect one, there's this sense that we can stop. We can be done. It ended on such a good note. The last game was perfect. There's no reason to continue the story. There's no reason to keep on trying, right? We've already have the golden boy. But that's kind of how the game's ended in such a beautiful way that I can't even imagine it getting better. So what's the point of making a new one? However, I understand why some people and some families keep having kids even after someone is born. But yeah, I highly anticipate if they're gonna make it, I do trust them because they haven't let me down. And who am I, right? Who am I? Just a player. I'm just a guy who enjoys the games, so much so that I do impressions of the characters. I live in this world, and I want to see more, but only if it's going to be done right. So it's like a weird sense. Like, I only want to have another kid if he's going to either match or be better. But there's no guarantees, guys. There's no guarantees in life. Doesn't that suck? All right? You're trying to have kids right now, and you're like, boy, hope he's a scholar. Hope he's talented. Hope he's going to have his things together. And you go, what the heck, man? Why? What is it? The ingredients? Was it the month? Was it his astrological sign? You know what? Whatever his symbols were. And it didn't work out. But that's okay, guys, because the Lord favors me, and I'm just going to move on the way things have been. So, anyways, that was all I really saw in the news. It's soaking wet with inconvenience, dude. All right, that's what the news is right now. Even my for you news, the stuff that's supposed to be tailored to me, it's all political stuff because everyone's campaigning for the next president and so much. If we've learned anything from this whole Joe Biden experiment, and God rest his soul, he's not dead, but God bless his soul. He's just an old man, and no one's gonna argue that he's like all there, right? If you've seen him talk, it doesn't really make sense. I believe they said that he's spent like most of his term on vacation, and you know what? He deserves to. He's an older gentleman. It was the way that it happened, right? But if we've learned anything from this, it's that we don't really need a president. Whoever runs America runs America. Things have been just fine. All right, nothing's really changed, and everyone's up in arms about who's going to do this and what's going to do that. It's just a big popularity contest at the end of the day. It's kind of like class president. It's like, well, who's going to be class president? I'm going to put in vending machines in every hall. I'm going to make no homework. I'll do this. Like, you don't even have the power to do that. All right? It's one big, are we going to vote for you? Yeah, of course you want to be president because you got a big ego. And I get it. I do. But not actually. Like, you just, like, let's calm down. Like, you can't really, you don't get to do anything. Gas is going to stay basically the same. May go up or down 6 cents. Don't matter, right? Maybe we have an extra sticker fest or something. I don't know what a class president gets to do, but we've had one and he did nothing. And he promised a lot. And I'm a little jealous because I lost out. I ran for class president at one point when I went to school, and I lost. And the guys who got in, they didn't do anything. There was nothing. Whole year. All freaking nothing came of it. And that's kind of how I feel about the president. Like, clearly, we don't need someone to be in. And it's not like, it's not gone are the days where people would dream of meeting the president or writing to the president. But we have like reality show caricatures, right? It's just people they're rambunctious, and they're every clip you see of them, they're laughing and screaming. You're like, what is going on? Is this the WWE? Like, where there used to be respectable, like, just you felt like they had such wisdom and power that you would go, regardless of what side you were on, you would look at some of these people and you say, maybe I'm not voting for them, but I see what they're I see the kind of presence they have. And we don't have a lot of that anymore. And I don't think we really need it. I don't think it really matters, unfortunately, because there's just not enough. I would like to see just a normal average guy, a good do-gooder citizen of the world who just cares about it. He's like, hey, look, I understand. I get it. I'm one of you, not, people that are just power hungry and they just want to go and do this. But that's besides the whole point. Point is, the news is washed with this whole popularity reality show. But yeah, I'm more excited about the God of War emojis than I am any sort of news headline. So in my own personal news, guys, what's been going on in Tristan's world? Okay. Well, one, I got a new longboard, okay, and I was so excited. I got all the pieces to the puzzle. I've never had a longboard. I have like a normal skateboard that I try and learn and do tricks on, and it's difficult. It takes a lot of time, and I would just like to ride around because I hurt my ankle, and I can't do that because normal skateboards, they don't ride as far. So I thought, hey, gonna get a longboard. Right? There's the exposition. Now we know why I made the choice. So I get this longboard, and I'm stoked. One push, and you just cruise, and I fly freaking hundreds of yards, and it's beautiful. Now, this is the problem. This is how I've broken bones, wrists, and ankles, is because my confidence does not match my skill level or my knowledge. So I get this longboard, and I think, well, this is fun. I can go so fast with ease. So what do I do now? I go to the highest peak in all the realms, okay? The highest hill that we have nearby. I travel up to the very top of it. And as I get up there, I think, this is pretty tall. And in my brain, for a split second, I think, Tristan, you've only ridden on flat ground. What makes you think you should be bombing a hill? You've seen the videos. It is not safe. You have no brakes. What happens if it gets too fast? How do you get off? And that thought was in my brain for all of half a second before I threw it out, and I went, this is going to be awesome. So what do? But I hop on this board, and I begin to speed up. I approached 25, 27 miles per hour, which is the speed of a moving car. At one point, there was cars on the road that I was both catching up on and behind me that were not catching up to me. I was going oh so fast, and it was beautiful, okay, because I like to think I have great balance, at least like just a normal cruising board. So I'm like, oh, adrenaline, scary, oh boy, and I reach this halfway point, and I'm still speeding up, and I begin to like freak out just at the sheer velocity of what's happening. You know, when you suddenly start to realize the danger that you're in, and you're like, what was I doing at the top of the hill that I thought this was a good idea? Doesn't matter, lock in. So I'm just trying to focus. I'm trying to stay on my grind, stay on my balance, right? But I didn't finish. adjusting and fine-tuning this board because I just got it. There were certain bolts and screws and things that needed to be clocked in and adjusted. But ahead of myself, confidence up, skill knowledge, not important, right? All I know is this will be fun. I got this. Sometimes saying I got this, confidence is important. I will admit that. Key to achieving a lot of different things. Believing in yourself is good. However, this has bitten me in the freaking face more times than I can count. So as I'm approaching 30 mile an hour, the board can do something they're called death wobbles, okay? It is a point where you will lean one way, and then all of a sudden you start steering, so you autocorrect, and you go back the other way. And then it comes the other way. And now your feet are doing an automatic, you're turning on both sides, and the board starts shaking violently, twisting and turning like you're trying to surf the earthquake, okay? And it feels like somebody's just violently shaking you. And it's so scary to the point I'm like, I understood the fact that I was going to get hurt. I can't jump out of a moving car and land on my feet. There was no safety precaution. I didn't look up how to recover in such a thing. And I was experiencing my first death wobbles, and I was terrified. And by the grace of God, I survived because my luck is so fortunate. So spoiler alert, things worked out for me. But I made such a mistake, dude, that I thought this was going to be the greatest thing, the most fun of all time. And I feel like I almost died, okay? I could have ran into a post or a person, just hit a rock. Body flies 30 mile an hour, dude, all right? I've never been thrown 30 mile an hour, all right? Like, but to hit a rock would be the equivalent of driving down just a normal state road, and you fly through the windshield. Who knows where I'll land? So I was very nervous. I made sure to adjust my board again, and I will hopefully try to be less confident. But gosh dang it, man. If I don't just trust the luck in myself, you know what? Maybe part of me, I go, well, I shouldn't do that again. But for a split second, that thought washes away, and I go, obviously you're God's favorite. Things will work out for you. So I can't believe it. It's like I kind of just locked in like just an ancient monk or a shaman or somebody who has good balance. And you know, like those people who run on the logs next to each other and they try and run and stop and go backward and forward and try and knock each other off. Those guys, I think, probably have the best balance of all time. You know, there's just the fact that you're doing that in the water and you can manipulate it in such a way. And that's who I try to channel. Like just some Louisiana lumberjack who's just playing in the creek with his friends, and I got into that mindset, and I took care of business. Dang it! Again, I can't really claim I didn't do anything, but tithe, baby, it works out. So that's how my life's been going, man. Things kind of work out for me. They almost don't, but sure enough, they do in the end. I will say recently something that didn't work out for me is that I'm a sucker, man. All right, I'll admit that. I'll say that openly. I'm a sucker for an advertisement, a good deal, or just a product with a sign, just a big sign. I was walking in the grocery store, and I see this whole Italian cheese aisle. And I go, what? I'm Italian? I like cheese. I should be in the Italian cheese aisle. So I meander over there, skipping, frolicking, and I find mascarpone. Mascarpone. So I've never had mascarpone, but I see on the cover of it, it looks delicious. And the person is eating a bagel covered in mascarpone. And I just dream of such a heavenly bite that I'm like, wow, I picture myself just trying it. And it's an expensive cheese. It's basically like cream cheese for bagels, but it's like 5, 8, 20 times the price. So I'm holding it. I'm like, that's too much for cream cheese. I like cream cheese. Cream cheese is good. I'm going to stick to what I know. But then I look back at it, and I visualize myself in the Tuscan sun. And I'm just in a field overlooking the mountains and sheep and goats and trees and alone, and the wind's blowing, and all of a sudden I'm in this commercial, and I take a bite of this beautiful mascarpone covered bagel, and the wind blows, and I snap my head right into the camera, and I go, you should buy it. And then I do. I visualized myself selling myself. I'm a good salesman. a cheese spread that I had never even had before. Sure enough, I whiz home, dude, as fast as I can. I cook bagels, accidentally burn them because I'm focused on just like trying the cheese and looking at it. And then I cover them in the mascarpone, and I'm so disappointed because it's barely anything. And I look it up. I'm like, maybe I got bad cheese. Maybe I got bad mascarpone. It's not bad, but it's just kind of faint. It's like cream cheese if you dial it down to like 10%. And maybe that speaks to how fat America is. I'm like, it's just not fatty enough. It's not creamy enough. We need more, it needs more. But then I looked it up, and people who actually know what they're talking about, chefs and whatnot, they're like, yeah, it's not really, it's just a spread, Like you're supposed to combine it into sauces and creams, and it adds such a rich kind of creamy flavor underneath. It doesn't really do much. It's more of a hidden kind of flavor. You don't use it as a main thing. And me, the freaking idiot, no one said it was going to be a perfect little bagel spread. But when I visualized myself in Tuscany, in the Italian sun, I told myself it was. And I'm a sucker for myself, I guess. But also on the photo, it shows it on a bagel. But I guess it was halfway done in that image. And I was severely disappointed, guys. You ever believe and you trust in something so much, and then it's ripped away from you? It's kind of like that God of War headline all over again. But I did try and combine it. I'm trying to learn. So maybe it'll work out. Maybe I'll discover I'm good with cheeses or something. But I was trying to combine it with a variety of ingredients. I tried it with grape jelly, and it worked just fine. I don't know if that was quite Italian, though. Like, did you just use Welch's grape jam with mascarpone? Huh? And you know what? I do things my own way, all right? Maybe if you sold me on the Tuscany dream, then you could say something. But it was me up there in that castle, and my freaking godfather red silk robe. And I was just a different guy. I was a different guy with a mascarpone bagel until I actually had one, and I realized I was back in Ohio, and it was raining, and I wasn't wearing a robe. I was wearing a stained, ripped, white t-shirt that I got for $3. It was the complete opposite of my fantasy, but that's okay, guys. That's okay. I will say I did something I regret, all right? Now, I want you to know, before I continue this story, I didn't do it on purpose, all right? But I scared the life and the death out of a small child in the nighttime. So, to give context, right, we're out with my family, and we're working on some stuff and some projects, and it's nighttime, okay? And my dad is parked on the sidewalk, okay? And there's a lot of different vehicles around, so he's kind of parked on the sidewalk. So the way that he is, for someone to kind of come down the road, they kind of get funneled inside towards all of us. I forgot about this. So most people are kind of going on the outside of the truck and continuing on, but some people occasionally will get filtered in and go right back out. No big deal, right? They intrude on the space just a little bit, and then they get out. So this is for hours, right? Some people come by, they don't, whatever. So now it's nightfall, and we're all still working, and I have siblings, okay? So I'm constantly on guard. Sometimes someone sneaks up on you and they just put you in a frickin' half Nelson or a rear naked chokehold, or they just pinch you and pull you and bite you and kick your legs out from underneath you. Like, you gotta be ready, okay? You gotta be ready. And it happened multiple times right before this event occurred. So I'm facing this building, right? And everybody is coming past behind me. Now, no one has crossed my path for a while, but I hear somebody traveling close behind me, and my brother had just kicked my legs. He just kicked the back of my knees, and I fall down, and it's embarrassing, whatever. And a lot of times if someone tries to sneak up on you, quick reflexes, you gotta be ready to fight. So someone's coming close behind me, and I know my brother's trying to sneak up on me. He's going to scare me or hurt me in the nighttime. No, not me, dude. No chance. So as I'm standing in this, there's someone coming close behind me, and I turn around, right? And I wind up to freaking clock the absolute lights out of him. But what do I see but a small child on a bicycle? And she's just trying to ride by, maybe to get back to her house. And I go, "Hi! oh my, I'm so sorry. And she just goes, I'm sorry, and she just rides away. I'm like, no, it's my fault. Oh my gosh, I scared like I've the last thing you should ever do to a child in the nighttime, let alone a small girl, which is even harder to survive in this godforsaken world. So she probably won't ever ride freely again outside in the night, and I ruined that, but I did protect the house. If anything, I made sure that property was taken care of. But oh my gosh, I felt so bad after I was done laughing, not at her, but just like how embarrassed I was. Like, oh my gosh, I look over and I see my brother. He's just shining his golf clubs. I just threatened a small child, and she rode away, and she's probably crying. I have no idea. And he's just like, he's none the wiser. No one was ever sneaking up on me, and this is the fault of siblings, dude. Okay, you want to have siblings? Well, be prepared to threaten children, because it comes with the bag. So I've been thinking about that for a while, man, and there's no way to find this person. There's no way to make it up to them. Okay, I couldn't even recognize them if I tried. It was nighttime, but I threatened the life of a small child, and I don't know how to get over that. But I will, because I have mascarpone, and I'm going to learn how to eat that, and I'm going to get good at it. And eventually, when I do, man, the sweet Tuscan sun, the robe will be there. I won't, I don't smoke a cigar, but I'll have a cigar there that I won't smoke, but just, for the setting. And it's going to be good. And the children won't be scared anymore, because I'll be a good guy for once in my life. So anyways, guys, yeah, that's been my week. I've been having a good time. It is fall, it's autumn, it's nice, it's beautiful. The air's getting crispy, it's getting cooler. We know I hate the cold, which sucks because I love the fall and winter so much. Oh my gosh, dude, do I love the burr months ever so much. It's seasonal, it smells different, people are happy, they're holly, they're jolly, things just feel right, but whatever reason, my Southern Georgian blood just does not mix well with it. And I walk outside, go, this is everything I want. Oh my gosh, it's freezing. And I don't want to have to wear mittens and earmuffs in 60-degree weather, but that's just what my body requires, I suppose. I'm great, 80s, 90s, put me in the heat, dog. I'm thriving. But when it drops, dude, I drop, I get cold. But I am so excited, man. It just feels different. In a weird way, it feels like everybody else comes alive as the world dies. Isn't that poetic? The trees die. You know what? Nature dies in such a beautiful and graceful way that humans don't. You ever watch a human slowly wither away into oblivion? We kind of just die. We just slowly get less and less. And it's not beautiful. It's not fun to look at. But trees, on the other hand, and flowers and bushes and plants, you watch them, they change color. And they're dying, but in such a beautiful and graceful way, and they smell different, and they bloom, and they fall, and they cast away in the wind. And I think humans should work on that, all right? If you want to die, don't just rot, man. You gotta freaking flow, dog, all right? You gotta flow. I'm trying to turn a different color and smell beautiful when I go, okay? And if you've ever smelled somebody that's on the verge of death, it's nothing like fall, okay? It's actually the worst. It's horrible. It smells quite like death. So, I don't know. Be like a plant. Everyone says flow like water, dude. No, flow like a tree. Flow like nature. Nature's so great. It is hard, though. It's hard because it's weird to know that it's kind of dying, but it's, you know what? Maybe we should look at life like that in a way. Like, yeah, it's been here. We've got to appreciate the summer and all its greenery, and it's fun. But now it fades. Now it's gone. And now this person that I loved and cared and had spent so much time with in these beautiful memories, they will too whisk away to where they belong, and something new will take its place. A casket. I don't know what the beautiful message is there. Maybe, just maybe, the idea of grief, you know what they say? They say, grief is the culmination of love. To have grieved deeply is to have loved fully. So, as sad as we get about people or the leaves, we can appreciate how much we loved the greenery. I'm just trying to spin it, especially for people who have seasonal depression. If you have seasonal depression, just focus on how friggin' good it smells out, you know? I don't know if that saves the day at all. Hey, you sad? Get a candle. So I'm really excited about the fall. I love the feeling. I love the sports, man. I love football's coming around. Football's on tonight. It's on tomorrow. It's on the next day. It's on the day after that and the day after that. And it's just sports, man. Sports, they feel alive. I can't get enough of it, man. It's just destined for happiness and joy. So I can't wait. And yeah, I think that's it. Hopefully my fantasy team does well. My fantasy team is perpetually in a state of regret, where every time I draft, I go, this is the right guy, this is the right guy, this is the right guy. And as I get the next guy, I realize I don't like the last guy I got. And then I look at everyone else's team, and I'm jealous. And I go, well, why didn't I get him? Was I not thinking smartly? Was it because I had 12 traditional wings with medium sauce in front of me with a side of fries and a Pepsi, and I was distracted? God forsake this freaking sports bar. So hopefully I dial it in and I can get my fantasy team in check this coming year. But yeah, dude, love football, love the fall. I think that's everything I have to say. Things should go well for me. Things go well. You know what? That's what I'll say. I think all of my bad luck I've put into my fantasy team. Everything else in life shakes out just fine, you know? Not that poor girl, but also it didn't go bad for me. Like, I survived. I wasn't threatened. If anything, she was unlucky, and she was on the receiving end of my fortunate stroke of fortune, you know? That could have easily been a threat, a danger. But I was so prepared, and I do appreciate that if someone were to sneak up on me, it wouldn't work. So, you know what? Good for me again. I'm going to hold that in a sense of pride. Unfortunate, again, for her, but for me, things work out, dude. So I think that's everything I have to talk about. Yeah. Unless we don't have any questions here today. But if there were, I would respond to them with the same amount of enthusiasm and love and appreciation as I always do. But instead of giving them to the questions, I will give them to you guys. I love and I care and appreciate and enthuse you. And I will see you next week. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the fall. Just kick it off, okay? I don't care if it's not September 21st or whenever fall officially starts. You know, it's fall, okay? It's just fall. Let it be. Enjoy it. Let it flow through you. Unless you don't like fall, then you can hold on. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm rambling. It's the product of having a backwards hat, man. Sometimes I feel too cool to shut off the camera, so I just keep flowing. Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. I've been here. I've been me, and I appreciate you. So I'm kind of distracted about the football season, and then I start talking about fantasy, so now I'm thinking about, do I need to readjust my lineup because this game's about to start? Guys, thank you. I will see you in the next episode, and hopefully everything's going well for everybody. Peace! Oh, crap!